It's all right, backbench judges and Lucifer, this
Do you think you're being told the truth about the world in which you live?
Yeah, I mean, it depends, sometimes when you're in a research, you discover something and you think that all the things that have been already discovered are wrong. But it's like maybe you can say it's a bit immature when you're in research, because, the people who have discovered the things, maybe they are more mature, and after, discovering some things, and then at the end of the day, you see that, yeah, that was true actually.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you are young or pioneer, you are very much excited to deny all the research that have been done before. Or if you see something that is kind of critical of the research that has been already done, you get more fascinated. So it's always in the research that you like more in a science research to deny others people's research, not to build on the top of other people's research.
And do you find you have to be really honest with yourself to admit that perhaps what I've got what I think is right is not right because of this new research?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, I would not say that all the things that have been already discovered or all the things that have been said, they are 100% true. Of course, there is a chance that all the things that have been done or said, it could be wrong, but you really need a strong evidence, or really need a strong or solid points to say that you have done or you have achieved or you have discovered something new and that is conflicting with the previous research. And then the people who are mature enough in the research, or for instance, I can give you an example of a gravity. So there is a 9.8, so I could say it's 10.8. But you need to come up with some solid reasons why it is 10.8, why it's not 9.8.
So you're talking about gravity. What someone said to you that, gravity is all very interesting, but I have no evidence of that myself. How could you prove to me that gravity actually exists?
No, I mean, first of all, that I'm not a researcher in a general science. Actually, these all the physics, the chemistry, or the biology is basically is a research from the general sciences.
Yes.
I'm a researcher in a computer sciences.
Yeah.
But as a general knowledge, I could say that how we could say the gravity exists, because we see that if there is something that is falling, it's falling downwards. So there is some attraction that is going, taking us towards. And then the experiments have proved that if you put a force that is equal to 9.8 in the upward direction, that cancels, and the objects, they stuck in the air, or like in a moon, you see that the people or the astronauts that have went there.
Have you seen that for yourself? Demonstrate.
No, that is what has been showed to me. So I cannot deny it until unless I haven't. I mean, being an optimistic person, I will trust that have been showed to me. I mean, it's the same thing that I had a colleague who I could say maybe more pessimistic. So he said it's not possible to communicate with the moon because you always need transmitters, or you always need amplifiers to communicate after some distance. So how people are communicating to a moon, because there are no transmitters or there are no amplifiers in between.
Well, apparently they're communicating with Mars and beyond.
Yeah. So
light years away, apparently.
So how I mean, for instance, we know when we listen to radio or when we listen to TV, we see a TV, there are always, the amplifiers are there in between to when the signals get weakened, they again make them strong so that it reaches, far.
That's interesting, because my mobile signal can be lost here, yet they can get signals light years away.
Yeah, so that's the reason. So some people, they think that all the things have been told to us actually are not existing. They are just made up of. But I mean, I would say that until unless I doesn't have anything that I could say that the other thing exists, I would go with that has been told to me.
So do you believe in the moon landings?
Yeah, no, I think I believe, because now many countries have reached moon landings. Yeah, I listened this conspiracy theory of Neil Armstrong that it was captured somewhere in a desert. Actually, it wasn't a moon. But it's the same thing. Until unless I don't have a solid evidence to deny it, I would go that, okay, he went there.
So would you be open to listening to other evidence that may contradict that your belief in the moon landings?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't found any solid evidence of just like like conspiracy theories or the rumors. That doesn't help science actually. If we want to help science, we need to start believing on things and start building on top of that.
But could I ask you if belief has anything to do with science?
Yeah, I mean, believe in the things that the scientists are saying. Because even if they're saying wrong, and if we start experimenting things, maybe we would come up with something that is true.
But don't you think science should be demonstrable, repeatable, and measurable?
Yeah, I think that's where there is a difference between theory and the law. The laws are always repeatable and are
self-evident
and self-evident. And there are some theories like the theory of relativity of the Newtons or Einstein's, but they haven't. Or for instance, the Darwin's theory is a very common theory. So there are theories, and there's the difference between theory and law, that they are not repeatable or something.
Yeah, but see like for gravity, or living on a ball. Then why can they not demonstrate that with a working model of a ball with water going around it, or a demonstration in front of us to show us the gravitational pull? Why can they not replicate that or demonstrate that?
I mean, the gravitational pull, what I have heard that the latest experiments of this, like the black holes, or some of the, like recently I have seen some news on the BBC that there was a gravitational pull of somehow something. Or for instance, that we see that the basic idea of the sea waves.
But was there any evidence of the gravitational pull that was telling you?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying. I mean, it's like more, you could say, like the substantial evidence. It's not like solid evidence. It's more a substance. Maybe this terminology is more from you.
But is it substantial evidence if you can't see it or can't feel it or can't touch it?
Yeah, we can feel it. I mean, we can see there is a gravity. As I explained you earlier, there are some other planets that doesn't have a pull force, or for instance, that why the things always goes down, and if you apply a force of 9.8 in upward direction.
But did you know that density and buoyancy explained everything before gravity was even thought of? If I drop something, then it may be more dense than the atmosphere, so its molecules in whatever's being dropped is heavier than the molecules of the air, so it's going to fall. So we don't even have to talk about gravity. It's not being pulled to the ground, it's just falling to the ground because it's heavier than the atmosphere. Now, gravity is only a theory. That's why it's called the theory of gravity. It's never been proven. But yet, you can take gravity out of the equation and you can explain everything due to density and buoyancy.
Yeah, I believe in this, but what I feel is that having a concept of gravity helps us to discover new things. I mean, for instance, you said it's not only a gravity; it's just the mass of the molecules. If they are heavier than in the atmosphere, they goes down. But that's if you come up with these kind of ideas, and then there is the idea of gravity, then the new idea. If you just say the gravity doesn't exist, and we need to just discard thinking
but density was already there. Density and buoyancy was already there.
Yeah, but
explaining everything.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not very very good in these subjects. But yeah, if there is some other theory as well there, and there are some solid proofs, so we should go for that one. I mean, I don't see there is some business kind of thing in believing the gravity or not believing in a molecular.
Well, I think if gravity doesn't exist, then the whole premise of us living on a spinning ball with water on it is put into question.
I mean, I believe that there are many standings, that are actually standing on a concept of gravity. So if you take off the gravity, because I know when I was studying physics in my high school, so a lot of things were are based on the gravity. So now if you take off the gravity from all these concepts of physics, so there are many things that is going to be disapproved. So that's what I said. There should be, of course, research is going on there, and then there should be some other ideas. I mean, I don't deny that all the things have been discovered. Things are going to be discovered, or there will be new ideas that probably there will be some radical different ideas. So, the scientists who are mature enough, or the senior scientists, they should be open-minded to accept new things, not to be stuck. No, it's defined and that's like this. No, they should be open and open to a radical change as well. Or for instance, I mean, why the gravity is working or why this, because we can see there are a lot of things standing on that. For instance, over the I mean, if we go towards the defense or towards the aviation industry or all these, because there are whatever is this concept is this concept is now being built in over daily lives.
But what example can you give to me that you think gravity actually exists? Well, the gravity that can hold oceans to a ball. I mean, how can I be convinced that that's actually real?
Yeah, I mean the gravity how it exists. For example, what I can give you more examples from cricket. I mean, maybe you have heard of the cricket. It's very common in UK.
Yeah.
So what I knew, the example we studied in our high school is that when a batsman hits a ball, it's basically he applies some energy to that ball.
Yep.
And then that ball actually travels some distance and it eventually stops. So there are two kind of resistance that apply to that ball. The one resistance is a gravity that is always stopping the ball to go, and the other
resistance
because if there is no gravity, it's a free fall motion.
But is the resistance not due to the weight travelling through the air rather than gravity?
Yeah,
so there comes a point where that force applied runs out because it can only be projected so far, and because the weight of the object can't propel itself any further, so then it drops. So
yeah, but when it is rolling over the field, so when it is rolling over the streets, over the field, and then it stops eventually.
Yeah. Is that not just the momentum of it though?
It's the moment. I mean, it's the energy actually that has been applied on that, and then actually it's like law of conservation of momentum. That energy can never be lost. Actually, it actually just converts from one field to another field. So that's actually energy is applied to that, and then the opposite energy, that is a kind of gravity, is stopping it, I guess.
Is there any evidence of that though? I mean, is that a theory or a belief?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's more, I would say, it's not evidence, more a substantial evidence. What we see and how things grow. I mean, if you start, how you say, come up with a skeptical idea, like 4 plus 4 is 8, but I could say no, 4 plus 4 is 9.
Yes, it's just a language which.
It's just a standard actually.
But then so is mathematics, isn't it?
This is what I'm saying. I mean, in our field, like of computer science, we set some standards, and that we all agree that this is a standard. But anyone has anyone could come up and they say it's not true. But yeah, we know it's not true. But we just set up some standards so we could make things more harmonious and this kind of thing. So it's just like a common principles we set up to
Looking at the natural world and observations for ourselves. Looking at the water here, you see water right there in front of us.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen bendy water?
Bendy means? Bending water.
Yeah.
In my real life or in a life? No, I guess no.
Me neither. Never seen bendy water anywhere.
No, me neither, no.
But we're supposed to be surrounded by bendy water on the horizon. We're supposed to be on a ball, and the curvature is 8 inches per mile squared. So we should be seeing curvature or evidence of a curvature in all directions. But I've never seen evidence of any curve. Have you?
No, me neither. I haven't seen it.
So that's our own senses and our own observations and our critical thinking, questioning what we've been told. So I'm being told I'm on a ball. Okay, I'm looking out. I don't see a ball. I don't see any curvature. But I'm supposed to be living on a ball. And water's supposed to be curving around a ball, which is an impossibility as far as I'm concerned. And when I look at the observation of water around me and in nature, it never behaves that way. The physics of water does not behave where it sticks to a shape, whether it's a ball or a cube or anything, because water always flows downwards and finds its own level and levels out. It never curves, does it?
Yeah. So you believe the shape of the Earth is not round or oval?
Absolutely not. So I did all my life.
So the pictures that we have seen from the satellites of the different the planets like the Earth or like Moon or like Sun. So you think all these pictures are not real?
Well, I would ask you to go and research. And Robert Simmons, who works for NASA, in an interview he said that they are all photoshopped. They're not photographs. They're photoshopped because they have to be photoshopped. Now, on NASA's own website, they admit that they're not real photographs. They're actually composites. So there are no real photographs of Earth as a ball. And there is no video showing you live, 24/7, the Earth rotating with the cloud formation moving in all directions and things like lightning, stars in the background. That doesn't exist. Because it would be almost impossible to fake.
So what do you think? What is the reason to make these things fakes and tell that this is oval or this is a friendship? What they are gaining?
Yeah, I try not to go into that, but I will. I try not to go to that because the first premise, if people aren't accepting the first premise that they've been lied to and we're not in a ball, they're never going to believe the next step, the reasoning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just challenging people to look and research and to question if it's a fact that we're living on a spinning ball. Mm-hmm. Because presumably, like me at 5 years old, you accepted it as the truth and never questioned it again.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't have I assume the most of the people in the world, they don't have the resources, or they don't have the abilities or capabilities. For instance, and you are talking about the NASA.
What about critical thinking, though?
Yeah, it's a critical thing, but that can make it take you into a mess probably, because
why?
For instance, if you see that if the NASA is telling you that we have seen the world is oval because they have the satellites to capture the images, so and then you could say no, it's not oval, because you can just search up on the internet and that would also be an opinion of some other person, because unless you build up your own satellite, you build up your own ship, you build up your own missile system, and you go on the top and you see, oh yeah, it's not oval.
People have had amateur balloons going up with cameras. Like NASA used a fisheye lens that makes everything look curved. Now, if you go and research the amateur balloons that have gone up with cameras, 360 completely flat, no curvature anywhere.
Yeah, but what's the height of these balloons? You don't know.
33 miles.
I don't know if from 33 miles from here if there is oxygen over there or no.
Well, if you do the maths of the Earth supposedly covering at 8 inches per mile squared, you've got to start seeing the curvature somewhere. So if you're going up 33 miles, you're bound to see the curvature. Now, can I ask you if the horizon is always at your eye level?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Horizon is always on my eye level.
It's always about here, the horizon.
Yeah.
If you go to the top of the mountain, is the horizon always at your eye level?
Yeah, it's the same, yeah.
If you're on an aeroplane, is the horizon always at your eye level?
Yeah.
Right. So we established that the horizon always remains at your eye level no matter how high you are. Now, if you're on a ball, if you ascended really, really, really high,
mm-hmm.
that ball should fall below your feet, should it not?
Yeah.
Right. Now, that doesn't exist in reality, does it? Because the horizon's always at your eye level. But if we're on a ball, that shouldn't be happening. They should be falling below our feet. Now, these are the natural observations I'm talking about that we can do ourselves, or natural experiments. I can zoom in and see that boat and see, look, it's not going over the curvature. My telescope or my zoom will show you that there's no curvature there, although we're being told there's a curvature. But we're not listening to our own intuition, our own critical thinking. We're just believing what we're told without any evidence. But if we use our own critical thinking, do our own experiments, we can see there's a contradiction there. And there's actually no evidence for what we're being told. There's no photographs of the Earth. We just established that there's no photographs. So we're accepting that in good faith that we're being told the truth.
Yeah, but why we are being told the contradictions? This is the point. Why we are being told the contradictions? I don't see there is some gaining point in telling us the contradictions instead of telling us the truth. If there is other truth.
do you think the leaders of the world and governments are focused on control, or do you think they really care about the people?
No, but that's a separate thing. That I believe that all the countries, the politics is a dirty thing.
Yes.
And the leaders.
We agree on that. Yes.
And all the business and all the leaders, all the politicians,
Corrupt.
they have their own interests.
Corrupt.
And the countries have their own interests.
Right.
So that is the interest-based politics. So that's something I can understand why the people are the leaders are lying. For instance, that's something. But this is something that we all, maybe 7 billion people on the earth. That's some basic science. I don't think so. Someone is winning something out of it. I can see that the leaders lie to us. Right. They do politics and they win something out of us.
So it's not illogical to believe that they would be lying to us about the shape of the Earth, is it?
And there is always. There is a bit of separation as well. I will separate the scientists and the politicians. Politicians always, grow with their own interest, but I don't see the scientists are winning something. Because politicians win some money.
So who pays the scientists?
Yeah, they get money from the
government.
It's the people's money in the end. Actually, at the end of the day.
But they get paid by the government, don't they?
Yeah,
they get funded by the government.
Yes.
So you're not going to bite the hand that feeds, are you?
Yeah, but politicians don't need to pay. I mean, politicians have no interest in paying scientists at all.
You don't think so? You don't think?
Yeah, maybe in a pharma industry or in a industry where there is some
Pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah, that I could see in a Hollywood movies. There is a lot of corruption going on there, and the vaccines or what is this?
Food and dairy industry.
Few days ago, there was one guy who was spraying a poison here, and there was one guy.
Vaccines.
Yeah, that's a bit different. This is what I'm saying. It's a natural science. I mean, I don't see a reason that people are saying me the world is not round. What are you going to win in this?
Well, I'll tell you what I think it is. It's about control.
It's about, then it's more like a theory of a god, I would say it's a theory of a god, how to control a society.
Yeah.
You are a poor, don't worry, there is a world after this world, you will be happy when you will go to heaven.
Do you see the animals in the field, like cows and horses? Sometimes they're in a field with a fence that is electrified. So once they get electrocuted, they don't go near that fence again.
Yeah.
So the farmer has no fears about his animals leaving the field because the animals know they're going to get electrocuted, so they won't go.
It's a pain.
They won't try to get out.
Yeah.
Now, let's just say that we wanted to continue in a part of this world. So we're here in the city of Dundee, but I don't want you to go out to Dundee. I want to keep you controlled here. I don't want you discovering other lands and other countries. So I'm going to tell you Dundee is a ball. Dundee is a floating ball in space. So you're never going to look for a way out of that other than looking up to space. So you're never going to look for land, are you? Because you don't think the land exists. In your mind, there's a psychological electric fence in your mind that you're not going to go looking for land east, west, or south, or north, because you're only going to be focused on space because you believe you're on a ball. But you're only in the city of Dundee.
Yeah, I mean, coming to the basic, the basic question that we have talked about, that I mean, I can understand that it's always to maintain societies. Some principles or some lies have been told to contain the societies or the people in one direction, like armies, they just doing this, don't question or don't take this. But then, again, I don't see, or I don't understand about the gravitational force, about the shape of the earth, that it is giving something that I can foresee. I can foresee that things that these politicians or this pharma industry or these animals or this genetic, there are some kind of black businesses there that gives people a money. Or people power, or or corruption is from the first day from the humans, in the psychology. But we've established that there's no real photographs of Earth. Okay. Yeah, this This is you have to. I will go to the NASA website and I will see, because I always see that there are some satellite pictures.
Yeah. Have you got a phone on you?
Yeah, I have.
If you go in and you put in NASA admits no real photographs, or Robert Simmons, no real photographs. And that's a self-evident thing you can do yourself right now to validate what I'm saying.
So it's official NASA website, no?
Yeah, or you can just put in Robert Simmons admits no real photographs of Earth. And you can actually listen to him in an interview, where he states they have to be Photoshop.
I'll try and find out my phone. Mine's
But I will definitely check in my office as well. If there are no real photos, so then it's the first step towards believing that the things are not as they are told.
Yeah, well, look, there's a few there. Look, that's him there. That's Robert Simmons admitting that there's no real photographs of Earth. Now he works on behalf of NASA. There's thousands of websites.
Yeah, but I also need to see what's the authenticity of Robert Simmons.
Yeah.
He's just one employee who worked there.
Yeah,
and now he was working there, and then after all of a sudden he said no, there were no real photos existing. But why he was not telling this while he was working there?
Well,
or what happened to him
he did while he was working there. And it's not that he's been working there all his life and he suddenly says it. He said it quite early on that they're photoshopped, they're not photographs. Yeah. I mean, this, you know, the blue marble shot that NASA releases every year.
Mm-hmm.
There's two here. Now that's on the official NASA website. Don't you think there's a bit of a difference in size with America?
It's a huge difference, I guess.
Yeah. Now, what that proves is that both of them can't be correct. Is that right? Would you agree?
Yeah, but you cannot. I don't know, but maybe the distance from where these pictures have been taken, or the angles or something, may make it, you know, difference of the size.
But they're the same size, so therefore it means that it's taken from the same distance.
I mean, apparently yes, but I could say there are some techniques that could make it look like this.
Yeah, there could be, but that's a little bit suspect, don't you think?
Yeah, this could arise a suspicion.
And that warrants a bit more investigation from you?
Yeah, that could ask me to, let's search it and let's look at it.
Let me see if I got something else on there I could show you. And do you believe in space travel?
I think I have seen it, and I think it's...
This is part of a video. To see the glove, the exposed finger?
Yeah.
Now, if your skin was exposed to space, your blood would boil.
The glove will boil?
Your bodily...
Blood, oh, okay.
Yeah, there he is. He doesn't need a spacesuit in space, because his skin is exposed to the space.
So you, in your opinion or in your research, I mean, all the things we have been told, or there is no man who has gone to the space, so no, it's not existing.
No, it's an insult to people's intelligence. You can research International Space Station and you can see people on harnesses. Like, they're exposed to the harnesses that they're bouncing about on. Why, can you tell me this, why with all the moon landings and the spacewalks, nobody has ever used a camera to turn around 360? They never let you see a 360. Now, I don't know if you ever watched any of the soaps on television, like Coronation Street and EastEnders. They never show you a 360 either, because they're in a studio. Because you would see the director, you would see the actors and the stage props. Now, why do we never see a 360 on the moon or on a spacewalk? Is that for the same reason? Because we'd see the studio set? Yeah,
but I'm not exactly sure, but last year there was some robot, the NASA was showing 360 view of some of the planet. I mean, it was Mars, or I guess it was a moon, something like this.
Yeah.
So everyone could go and could see the 360 from that. It was not a human eye. It was a robot eye.
But then images are not. I could show you an image of the Loch Ness monster.
No, I mean, I can understand. I have a research idea of this. I can build a 360 panorama of anything. I mean, with the pictures. I mean, with the pictures, it's not difficult either.
No, but if I'm videoing you on the moon, you can see that you're real, right? And you turn your camera around, and then you're doing a 360. If it's a computer-generated image, where there's no people involved, that's very easy to manipulate into.
Yeah, I mean, then there is a very few chance of error, or there are very few chance of being picked out something. But I could believe in this theory, that this has been told is not correct. But I don't see the reason why it has been told.
Control, hiding further land from you, keeping you contained in one spot.
Yeah, but as I said, there are different countries. For instance, if I see there is Russia and, or for instance, the United States, they are always fighting on everything. But why they agree on this thing? Not to tell about this thing, but tell.
Are they fighting? Now, see, I think that's part of our social conditioning to make us believe that they're enemies when they're not enemies.
No, I would say the countries fight for the resources. They need resources to contain their people. If you need to feed people, at least once a day. If you don't feed them once a day, they will eat you. So they need resources. I know there is there is some oil maybe in Atlantic or somewhere in the Antarctica, or the Russians need to dig out the oil, and the United States need to dig out the oil from there. So they need both oil. So there is for sure a problem of resources.
Well, I would say that we really don't need the oil at all. It's the people who own the oil companies, who own the petroleum, who want you to keep buying oil because it makes them rich. But there's natural energies there, renewable energies that we can use. People can run cars on water. They've proven that. But the oil companies don't want you doing that, so they want you to keep buying oil.
No, but this is what I mean. I told you, the world is built on these standards or on these principles. We need oil or we need electricity to now run the world. I need this mobile phone to communicate with my parents. If now it runs on electricity, I need electricity. So if I say no, I don't. I mean,
No, I agree, but there's different ways of powering electricity. We don't need oil.
Yeah, but the way now the world has been built, even though it was a conspiracy from the oil companies or the big mafias or something like this, but now we need oil, or now we need this kind of energy. Maybe, yeah, I mean, I can see maybe it's the water, but in some countries maybe the water is more expensive than oil as well.
Yeah, but I'm saying they can run things. They can run cars on water. There's no need for oil.
It's actually, I mean, in my country, actually, like few years ago, there was a.
Yes.
There was he said, I know I'm running the car on the water.
Yes.
So all the physicists in the world, they made just joke of him or the fun of him.
Is it India or Pakistan?
It was Pakistan, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen lots of people in Pakistan, scientists coming forward with renewable energy, and as many of those scientists have died in mysterious circumstances.
Yeah, they died, or as I told you, the mature scientists or the physicists, they say this is against the law of the basic principles of the physics or the chemistry or whatever. So it is not possible, and then somehow they got dumped or they don't.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's like, do you know Nicholas Tesla?
Yeah, Tesla. Yeah, I know him. He's a very famous guy. Yeah, he was a very famous.
So he was suppressed and he wasn't funded because he was into renewable energies, and way before people like Einstein and. Some of his inventions were way ahead of his time, but he didn't get the funding from the big bankers like JP Morgan and that.
Yeah, because he was not making it commercial products. He was just making it.
Exactly. Yes.
This I understand.
So many people don't even know about Nicholas Tesla.
No, I mean, as I told you, I'm a researcher, so we know. This guy we knew because he was not making things commercial.
Yeah.
And he made actually current with the AC or DC, and the other guys came up with the other form, and they start commercializing it, just changing the thing.
Only now, I think, has he been starting to get recognised or appreciated.
The people recognize. As a researcher, we recognize him and we appreciate him maybe more than the scientists who made the commercial products, because he did something real for the humanity or some purpose.
See, like researchers into cancer in the cancer industry.
There is a very good research center in Dundee University about cancer, actually.
See, in my research, I find that they're not allowed to research natural cures. They're only allowed to research profitable ways of managing cancer. Now, they don't get funded if they start looking at natural cures. Illegal for people to say that this natural product can cure cancer. So people have had to move to Mexico and other places to practice natural therapies for curing cancer. They're funded by the government, so they're not going to get funding if they start going towards natural cures, because they're only allowed to research profitable ways of managing cancer. So the cancer industry continues and people get a lot of money out of it, and people die unnecessarily because they don't know about the cures that are out there.
It's also, it's like, there are different kind of how you say treatment. Like there's a homeopathic treatment that's in Germany, and then there's an English treatment that is this antibiotic thing. But most of the antibiotic things, they actually don't treat you. There is your body system that actually, for instance, the flu. It's a 7 to 10 days a process that is a viral process. But the only medicine is keep you not to have a flu outside your. It's like that's all. It's not a treatment actually. The treatment is your body is treating you.
Yeah, because within the same time, without taking it, you'd probably heal.
You will be healed. Yeah, it's just providing you kind of comfortness.
Yes, but with taking antibiotics, actually, if you listen to the wording, antibody biotics, if you take those, then not only is it destroying your bad cells, it's also destroying your good cells. It's a bit like chemotherapy, where antibiotics is not a good thing to take.
Yeah, and then also like there is a research in the United States that they said after 30 to 40 years, all the antibiotics will become useless, because now our body will develop the resistance against that, and then most of the disease that we had, it's the same thing that what we do is vaccination. Actually, we do vaccination, we inject and we generate antibodies. So
are you pro-vaccine?
I did my vaccines, and I don't know actually. Yeah.
You don't know?
as I told you, there is always a conspiracy theory, and once you're a person from a country like me, you always listen conspiracy theories very often about everything. So, for instance, in my country, like some people don't go for polio, and we are the country I think in the world that is getting a travel ban because of this, because we are still not a polio free. But some people believe that this polio is actually something.
You've got to take Bill Gates' vaccines, or
we get the free vaccine from Bill Gates. But the people,
because he cares about you so much that he wants to travel over to India and give you.
Yeah, but that's what I'm telling you. If you don't follow the rule, you get punished. And we know when we need to travel outside Pakistan, we need to get a certificate that I'm polio free, because my country is not polio free. So, and it's because of these conspiracy theories that some people don't vaccinate their children because they believe there is some problem with this, with this polio vaccine, and then eventually all the country get punished. So if you need to live in this world, you need to follow something.
Well, a lot of people are refusing to have vaccines and vaccinate their children. Have you heard of Dr. Andrew Wakefield?
No,
He did a study with 12 children with autism, and he linked that to the MMR vaccine, and he claimed that autism is merely a disease of the gut. Now, he was struck off as a doctor, but other doctors have since done the same study and come up with the same results, but yet that's still been ignored. Dr. Andrew Wakefield wrote a book called Callous Disregard, excellent book, and he's huge on the internet now, even though they took away his license because he dares suggest that there's a link between vaccines and autism.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that this is that if you artificially inject something in a natural process, that would have pros and cons. So you need to see that if the pros are more or the cons are more. So if the pros are cons, I mean, and also I see that, for instance, the malaria, or for instance in our country there are 5 vaccinations that are must. That is a measles or tetanus or something. But before there were many children that were dying without this vaccination, but now they are not dying. So we could see there is, at least apparently, there is something positive going on there.
Do you think it could be down to better hygiene, better nutrition, better cleanliness?
Yeah, it's there, but I could also, I mean, as I explained it, being optimistic, I could see, like, 200 years ago, many people were dying, or many children were dying, but now after 200 years after, there is a very good, people like that are like the childs are getting adult and adults are getting older, and old life is getting more and more, like 90 or 95 years is going. So apparently it looks that all this technology or all these vaccines or all these medicines is helping.
But see, it's a fact that measles had almost died out when they introduced the vaccine for measles. But yet they claim the vaccine eradicated measles, but it didn't, because vaccines were almost non-existent when they introduced the measles vaccine.
Yeah, but measles, as I explained, I mean, you get measles, but actually if you have a measles vaccination, actually it's something very interesting. When I was in Spain, so I went and they told me you are missing the measles vaccination. So when you go to UK, you do your measles vaccination. I'm the only vaccination I'm missing is the measles, the vaccination.
You see, I have a list of over 100 doctor quotes from doctors telling us how dangerous vaccines are to the body's immune system and how they shouldn't be in the body. Now, you could call that a conspiracy, but I'm coming back with validated information from doctors who studied it also. Getting back to the shape of the Earth, I mean, what's your thoughts about this man came up to you today and suggested to you that the Earth may not be a globe? What's your thoughts on that, overall thoughts?
No, yeah, I mean, as I asked you questions, how you think it's not, and why you think it's like this, and what are your evidences about this, and now, I mean, it's like, after this conversation, there will be one footprint on my mind, and then if I will have a timer, of course, I mean, in my leisure time, I will look for this and I will search for it, if it is true or if it is not true, and why people are claiming like this, and most importantly, what people are winning from these contradictions. That is more important to me, because I always think, or I always see, should be some benefit of telling lie to the people, or benefit of telling lie to the society or something. So what's the benefit behind this? So, I mean, This conversation will leave a footprint in my mind.
Good. So you'll go off and research it.
I will look for it, and if
because you are a researcher after all.
So yeah, so I have access to computer 16 hours a day with internet. So yeah, I mean I can understand this idea of, but to me, in my critical thinking is like, why they tell us this? To me, is more important. Yeah. If I see that there is a reason of telling us this, then I can do more reverse engineering, and I can come up from this idea. You know.
If you don't mind me saying, I think if we look for the if we look for the why rather than the how, then we may not get off the first base. But I think first we have to acknowledge it may not be true what we've been told, and then we can look at the why.
Yeah, I mean, I would actually, yeah, it's true. The normal thinking process is the way you are telling me, but I would see that
because when an inspector comes to investigate a murder, the first thing he doesn't go, but why? He establishes whether a crime has been committed and whether.
Yeah, but this is the how the investigation goes. In my opinion, the investigation, when there is murder is being committed, they go who benefits and who lost.
Yeah, would that come before establishing that there was actually a crime committed?
Yeah, because they have seen the crime.
Okay, so they've established there's a crime first.
Yeah, but we haven't established there is a crime. As I told you, I believe these are conspiracy theories. I don't believe there is it has been established. So I would rather go what is the reason behind this? And if there is, I could see there is some reason behind this, I could then go.
But you're going to have to go through a lot of research to get to that point. So you will come across a lot of information that will make you think about and make you question the validity of whether we do actually live in a ball.
Yeah, I mean, if I have to, you go for a more and more research if you see there is something leading, towards some point. Yeah. If you go for a research, if you first see the credibility of the researcher. If the researcher is credible enough, if it has experience, if it has the knowledge. It's the same thing as I told you. It's a start of a critical thinking, and it's leaving a footprint in your mind that some people say that it's not wrong. Okay, so let's see it.
Well, it's great you're going to go off and research it, but that's brilliant. What's your name?
My name is Zulkarnain Rashid.
Can you spell that for me? Because I'm going to.
You can say me Rashid, R-A-S-H-I-D, Rashid, Dr. Rashid.
Dr. Rashid.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for your time.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much for the conversation.
It's been a very pleasurable conversation.
It was very informative for me as well, and knowing more ideas about the universe we are living in. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paper today, oh, they try